We're here in Bourne, and we're ready for some championship baseball on the Birds Broadcast Network. Game 2 of the championship series after last night. Bourne took Game 1 by 2 runs. The Firebirds look to keep this series going with their backs against the wall. If they lose tonight, the season is over. If they win, they move on to a Game 3 tomorrow back at Eldridge. Dylan Pescatore and Ian Nicholas here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Ian, a heartbreaker last night as you lose on home field if you're the Firebirds.
It was, right? You didn't play necessarily a bad game. You only lose by 2 runs, but you run into a Bourne Braves team that has been here before. Each part of his postseason, Josh Kuroda-Grauer, who drove in 2 double game and also made an unbelievable play defensively in the 5th inning against the Fenwick Trimble lineout. This is just an experienced lineup, 1 through 9. It's the best in the league. Bryce Cunningham, Ryan Free was really good out of a bullpen too. But if you're the Birds, you haven't lost back-to-back games since the 3rd week in July. You have been able to string back and bounce back well, and you hope that trend continues here with your back against the wall.
Back against the wall, they send Ivan Romero to the mound, and our sideline reporter, Sammy Miller, has more on the starting pitcher today.
Thanks, Dylan. After last night's loss, Ivan Romero said, if it's not worth it. When he told me that, I took a deep breath, thought about those words, and realized he was exactly right. The Cape Cod League is the most elite summer ball league in the country for a reason. It is extremely difficult to win an ordinary regular season game, let alone a playoff game, and especially a championship series game. So far in the Firebirds' playoff run, it has been nerve-wracking with close games, but the Birds did win 4 straight in a row. Now they are faced with their first playoff loss, and now it's all about how they respond. Instead of leaving Eldridge Park with their heads hanging low, they walked out with the belief that they would be back there on Sunday with Game 3 awaiting them. This is only fueling their fire that much more. They were already a hungry bunch, wanting to make it history together this summer, but now that hunger has already grown tremendously. After all, life is never easy. Sports aren't easy, but that's what makes it all worth it. When you commit to that grind, work through those struggles, and come out on top, that's what makes it that much sweeter. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. It's not going to be easy for the Firebirds, but who would like it easy? 2 straight wins is what they need for the first time since 2005. They sent Ivan Romero, the starting pitcher out of U of San Diego, to the mound. And Ian, he pitched in the playoffs before last season, and also this season he was in both starts really good.
He was. Going back all the way last year, as you were kind of alluding to, pitched for YD, and he was the starter on the mound for the Red Sox in Game 2 of the first round, the final game of Orleans' 2022 season. Pitched just under 6 innings and only gave up. Now he's going to try to look like the pitcher that he was earlier in the playoffs this year for Orleans. He last pitched in Game 2 in the first round of a playoffs there too. Gave up 2 earned runs, got slapped around a little bit in the 3rd inning, but outside of that was fantastic and had a season-high 6 strikeouts. Romero isn't going to blow it by you with the velocity. He's not a pitcher, but when he's the confident guy that he is, he's hard to stop. He's got a fastball and a couple off-speed offerings. That uses a curveball a little more tonight. He used it a lot in his last 2 appearances, and he's worked it to really good success.
Fastball, slider, changeup, and like you said, haven't lost 2 in a row a lot this season, especially in the second half, and need to continue on with that.
Still there, no say does that star-spangled banner yet wave, nor the land of the free and the home of the brave. Let's go, let's go, come on.
Braves fans, we have a very special ceremonial first pitch for this evening. Mark Lane, better known to his friends around Doran Park as Swaggy, has an ultra-rare genetic mutation. It presents a rare form of treatment, Make-A-Wish Foundation. Mark and his family traveled to Savannah, Georgia, where Mark signed a contract to be a member of the Savannah Bananas, had the opportunity to meet the Bourne Braves.
Back Ian Nicholas here on the Birds Broadcast Network. The Braves have taken the field. The anthem's done. First pitch in just the championship series of the League Baseball. Bourne in the field, in the outfield, goes from left to right. Sam Peterson, Gage Harrelson, and Kendall Diggs from third to first. Bryce Eblin, Jonathan Vastine, Joshua Crota-Grauer, and Garrett Michelle. Behind the plate today is Hugh Pinckney for their left-handed starting pitcher, Hayden Weicker. Ian, a Massachusetts native and a lefty, is what the Firebirds get to face here on the mound.
Yeah, it's a much different look from me. Hasn't thrown long. Pitched 4-2 in their first round win, 5-4 against. Only allowed 1 hit with 3 strikeouts and without a walk. Couple of rough outings in the middle of the season for Weicker. He allowed 10 earned runs in back-to-back appearances at Falmouth and against Cotuit on the 21st and 26th of July. Outside of that, he's been really good this summer, and he's trying to translate his game to Coastal Carolina next year in his 5th year of college baseball.
Last time Weicker was on the mound, he was right here at Doran Park in relief. 4 2/3 innings against Cotuit in Game 2 of their 2-game sweep, an 11-inning 5-4 win for the Braves, which got them to the second round. They beat Hyannis in 3, which they did lose the first game of the series 2. The Firebirds look to come back and win Game 2 and force a Game 3 tomorrow. It all starts with Joe Oyama, the left-handed hitter out of UC Irvine. Fenwick Trimble follows him up in the order. Jack Penny, Matt Hallback, Eddie Micheletti Jr., Eddie King Jr., Brandon Stallman, Justin Rubin, called a strike. It's a slider that starts in the opposing batter's box to righties and just clips the outside corner for a strike, 0-2.
Gets a bit of a generous call on the outside corner, but a competitive pitch.
0-2, 2 on, nobody out. The pitch by Weicker, strike 3. 3 sliders, and Hallback goes down swinging for out number 1.
It's a pitch that has great movement. The pitch for strike 2 ends up on the outer half to the right-handed Hallback, and the last one finishes low and in. You rarely see Matt Hallback go down on 3 pitches.
1 out, still 2 on, and up comes Eddie Micheletti Jr., the lefty, who just spent 3 years at George Washington and is heading to Virginia Tech, the old home of Henry Weicker. First pitch from the lefty, line drive into right field. Right digs, it goes in a second. The tag is safe, the runner's in. RBI single by Eddie Micheletti. 2-0 Orleans here in the first.
That ball was pummeled nearly 100 miles an hour off the bed of Micheletti. That's what happens when you leave an 80-mile-an-hour pitch right down Broadway. Micheletti has done such a good job of pulling the ball wherever he wants this summer.
Still 2 on, Penny on second, Micheletti on first, 1 out, and up comes Eddie King. Weicker struggling. King lays down a bunt, third baseline. Pinckney not to third, to first gets the out. Thought about getting the lead runner in Penny, but Bryce Eblin, the third baseman, was crashing in. King, sacrifice bunt, moves Penny to third, Micheletti to second with 2 outs.
Now batting, the third baseman.
Although it's relatively clear in the sky tonight from Doran Park, there are some clouds forming over right field, and it is beginning to drizzle. Got to keep an eye out for that. Really good bunt from Eddie King Jr. to put 2 guys in scoring position.
Here's Brandon Stallman, the lefty out of UNC Charlotte, against the lefty Weicker. First pitch to Stallman, a slider way outside, caught by the catcher Pinckney out of Rutgers. Has not played since Game 2 against Cotuit. 2 on, 2 out. Stallman was in this situation twice last night in the 6-4 loss. Did not come up big in either. A chance for revenge as the 1-0 is a slider at the top of the zone for a strike. The rain had a drizzle. Here in the top of the first, 2-0 Orleans already. Threatening for more. The 1-1 fastball in the inside corner, called strike. 1-2. Weicker has a chance to get out of this, only allowing 2 runs. Already has 20 pitches thrown. And facing Brandon Stallman, the 7th man in the order. With 2 in scoring position and 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch blocked by Pinckney on a slider in the dirt, 2-2.
Brandon Stallman's got an opportunity to make up for last night. Unfortunately, a couple of outs recorded in the 6th and 8th inning where he left 2 base runners stranded each time. That's not his fault alone, but Brandon Stallman an opportunity to keep a strong first inning rolling with 2 runners in scoring position.
First time Orleans has led by multiple runs in this series. 2-2 with 2 on and 2 outs. The pitch is high and away, 3-2. On deck is Justin Rubin. Weicker has not walked anybody yet. It's been 4 hits, 3 singles and a double. Full count, 2 outs. Penny on third, Micheletti on second. The pitch from lefty Weicker pulled down the right side, and the second baseman Crota Grauer throws to the first baseman Michelle for the out, but not before Orleans puts 2 up on the board on 4 hits. 2-0 Birds as we head to the bottom of the first here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network, a big first inning by Orleans, putting 2 up on the board in the top of the first, and now they have to head out to the field. Pitcher today, Ian. Back here on the Birds Network, having some technical issues. Derek Bender just flew out. The score is 2-1 as the Braves had an RBI double by Bryce Emblin into the right field corner. 2-1 Orleans still in front as we head to the second. 2 hits for the Braves in that inning. Score is 2-1 with Orleans in front. Bourne had an RBI double by Bryce Eblin into the right field corner, scoring Jonathan Vastine, who started the inning off with a single. 2-1's back to the bat. Justin Rubin leads off the 8-hitter for Orleans after they sent 7 to the plate in the first inning, scoring 2 runs to start off this game. Rubin takes outside from Weicker, who had a 21-pitch first inning, facing 7 batters, giving up 4 hits. The 1-0 to Rubin off Ori. 1-1.
It's disappointing the Firebirds, and then not to get that shutdown frame in the bottom of the first. Ivan Romero limits the damage overall, but a 1-run lead doesn't feel as good as a 2-run lead after 1.
1-1. Rubin slider on the outside corner. 1-2 with nobody out, nobody on. Rubin's last start was against Harwich in game. Had a pinch hit appearance last night and grounded out in the 9th inning. None of the umpires saw it. Now the third base umpire Rubin's leg. It's called a foul.
Almost had a little deja vu to the last time Justin Rubin had a signature moment this season. Have to go all the way back to game 1 of the playoffs against Harwich, where an infield single hits to shortstop against the Mariners tied the game at 1 in the bottom of the 9th from Eldridge before Jack Penny walked it off.
Still 1-2. Pitch from Weicker going the other way is Rubin. It's dropping quickly into right field, and it does for a base hit. Crota Grauer gave it his best effort, a dive and a shallow right, but he missed it. A single for Ruben to start off the second.
Well, Crota Grauer, no stranger to highlight real plays defensively. Made a leaping snag in the 5th inning of last night's game on a Fenwick Trimble line drive that was caught and ended up making it on ESPN Sports Center. But that's just stuck in no man's land.
On first is Ruben, up is the lefty catcher, Owen Carpellotti. Bryce Eblin, the third baseman, is in, expecting the bunt. Carpellotti squares, and the bunt is low and into Pinckney. Al Carpellotti bunted it right into the ground. It came up and hit Pinckney exactly where you don't want to be hit.
He's smirking at Carpellotti, but at the same time, you can feel he's a little uncomfortable, which he's fine. And I, don't say that from experience or anything, but he's got to give him a few moments. You never want to see it, but at the same time, in the nether region, never feels good.
Not at all. Carpellotti, a catcher, has probably felt one of those here or there. The job of being a catcher, not an easy one. Carpellotti squares the bunt again. The count 0-1. A high fastball that Carpellotti had to get his face away from. A 1-1 with Ruben on first. Weiker's throwing strikes, even though his pitch count's at 30 right now. But 4 hits from Orleans in the first and now 1 here in the second. 1-1. Carpellotti squares the bunt again, and he fouled it off. No, it hit the hand of Carpellotti. They're going to rule he did not swing. Carpellotti pulled it back, got hit in the hand. He'll take first on a hit by pitch. 2 runners on for the Firebirds with nobody out. Up comes Joe Oyama.
Another inning where you do damage early. Much different in this frame than it was in the first. In the first, it was a pair of hits. Scott Landman at that call to allow Carpellotti to reach.
Carpellotti squared the bunt very early against Weiker, who threw a fastball inside. Carpellotti pulled back as it hit his hand. Could have caught a piece of the knob. And then they checked down at third base. Jeff Merzell said he did not go. He did not swing. The bat did not go over home plate. Ruled a hit by pitch. So Ruben at second, Carpellotti at first. Oyama the batter as Landers continues to talk with home plate umpire. And we know all of them very well through this entire tonight. Chris Engstrand has first, Christopher Scott at second, and Jeff Merzell at third. Now all the umpires and umpire Gravina.
I trust Joe Gravina. You're not the CCBL Umpire of the Year network, so maybe I'm a little biased, but it was such a really quick play, and they confirm it.
They do. A hit by pitch to Carpellotti is confirmed. Landers heads back to the dugout. Nobody out. Oyama the batter.
University of California, Irvine, number 6, Joe Oyama.
Eblin at third. At first is Michelle. Michelle's probably 3 feet in front of the grass. He's on the grass already, expecting Oyama to bunt after he see what they do. I would not want to be Garrett Michelle right now. First pitch to Oyama. Squared around, called a strike on a slider that curled inside.
Joe Oyama, similar to Owen Carpellotti, to be perfectly honest, on this team, but with such a big hit to start this game to kind of break that slump of his 0-for-5 game last night, you got to watch out for him.
0-1 the count. Oyama squares to bunt. The pitch, another called strike as Oyama takes. Seemed like a pitch right down the middle, but he pulled it back. 0-2. Two on and nobody out. The rain has stopped. The 0-2 pitch to Oyama. Strike foot Weiker needed. Oyama gives away the first 2 strikes on bunt attempts that he pulled back. And then
second strikeout work. Both of them have been 3-pitch punch-outs of Matt and Oyama here for the first out of his second frame.
Second K of the night for Weiker. Up comes Fenwick Trimble. Orleans left 2 on base in the first with only 1 out. Weiker looks back at second where Ruben dances off the bag. Trimble fouls it right in front of home plate. It bounces foul. I believe it hit him as well in the box. 0-1 the count.
Fenwick Trimble, somebody who had a sensational sophomore season with James Madison and has been with this Firebirds team since day one, playing his best baseball right now, especially from the plate.
After one by Bourne in the bottom of the first, the Firebirds need to continue to cushion this one-run lead. Up 2-1 here in the top of the second inning. The 0-1 pitch will move up as the ball gets away from Pinckney. A wild pitch. Count now 0-2 on Trimble with one out. Rubin to third, Carpellotti to second base.
Weicker clearly has not settled in yet. After strike, right? 35 pitches, 26 of them for strikes, but Hugh Pinckney, very good behind the plate. There's nothing you can really do there.
Infield comes in for Bourne. Orleans needs a fly ball at the outfield here, a base hit. 0-2, one out, two in scoring position. The pitch by Weicker, backdoor slider, didn't get the call. And confirmed by the TrackMan strike zone, about a foot outside. The hometown crowd here in Bourne, not a fan. Count 1-2. All infielders with their feet. Weicker's pitch, a fastball, popped up foul, first base side and out of play.
After the end of a regular season, was tied for the CCBL lead in sac flies. Doesn't need to do anything too fancy here with only one out. And Rubin on third, who has good speed. Put the ball in play deep into the outfield.
With the infield in, both runners can get good leads off their respective bases, with Rubin at third and Carpellotti at second. 1-2 still the count. The pitch, a line drive into center. Back goes the center fielder Harrison, still chasing after it. Deep into center, a basket catch by the center fielder. In comes Rubin. Firebirds take a 3-1 lead on a deep sac fly by Fenwick Trimble. Harrelson almost misplayed that ball. His first step was in. It should have been back as it was hit harder than he thought it would be. Went all the way back, made a basket catch over his shoulder to record out number 2. Rubin scored, Carpellotti to third, 2 outs, and Jack Penny the batter.
Trimble hits that ball 35 feet deeper in the air than he did his home run last night.
First pitch to Penny's in the air to left center field. It drops near Sam Peterson and into his glove for out number 3. Firebirds leave one on, but they also score one. A big sac fly by Fenwick Trimble gives them the 2-run lead back that they had in the first inning. 3-1 Orleans as we head to the bottom of the second. Back here at Game 2 of the Cape Cod Baseball League Champion. Orleans tacks one on in the top of the second. They lead 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the second. Ian, so big to get another run back after giving up one in the bottom of the first.
Orleans has just been starting innings off really well from the plate. Multiple base runners have reached before Weicker has recorded an out in both the first and the second. Sure, you've left 3 on base, but at this point, if you can keep that multiple run lead for Ivan Romero, his confidence in his teammates is going to continue to be there, but now he has to deliver a shutdown frame.
It starts with Garrett Michelle, who is no one to blink your eye at out of Virginia Tech, the left-handed hitter. First pitch from Romero is a fastball low. Romero kicks off some dirt in front of the mound. Exactly where he lands his front foot, his left leg. The 1-0 fastball, but didn't offer enough. 2-0. Romero allowed 2 hits in the first inning, including an RBI double to Bryce Eblin to score their only run. 2-0, fouled back by Michelle, who's hitting .333 with 3 home runs and 5 RBIs in the playoffs. If Josh Grota-Grauer wasn't this hot, he would be the Bourne playoffs MVP. 2-1, popped into left. Over goes the left fielder, Micheletti, back near the wall at the track. It's foul. That one is foul by 5 feet. The third base coach is causing a fit. That ball wasn't even close to being a fair ball. The bullpen is saying fair ball. That one landed foul by about 5 to 10 feet. It's going to be a long strike. The count 2-2.
You mentioned it. Third base coach John Topolewski was crouched down for a solid 10 to 15 seconds, and Garrett Michelle is giving Joe Gravina a piece of his mind right now. Everybody in the Bourne faithful thinks that's a home run.
Not sure how they can think that. That one landed for sure foul. 2-2 the count with nobody out, nobody on. The pitch, strike 3 called on Michelle from a potential home run to him heading back to the dugout. First out here in the second recorded on Ivan Romero's first strikeout of the day.
Now batting.
It's been a frustrating series for Michelle. You talked about the stats overall for the playoffs, but against the Birds in these last 2 games, 0 for 5, and that was his second strikeout.
1 out, nobody on. First pitch to Peterson as the fastball that he swings through. The righty out of Iowa, and he'll let you know it with how he dresses. A helmet that has yellow stickers on and yellow cleats. 0-1 fastball, just a little bit low, 1-1.
It's a little yellow in the Bourne logo. The feather on the left side of a B.
Matching his uniform that he can control, the cleats in the helmet. 1-1 is low, 2-1 with 1 out, nobody on. Bottom 2, 3-1 Orleans. Another packed crowd here at the championship series here at Doran Park. Not sure if he can compare to Eldridge last night. 2-1, another pitch low, 3-1. Another fastball by Romero. 5,033 people last night at Eldridge Park. Bourne winning 6-4. The 3-1 pitch to Peterson. Line drive over the head of Penny at shortstop and into left field for a base hit. A 1-out single for Sam Peterson in the second. Third hit of the day for Bourne.
Peterson 0 for 3 last night, but with 3 multi-hit performances in the postseason, he can go off at any time. Takes a fastball on the outer half of the plate in the left at 97 miles an hour off the bat, and he has got great speed.
Peterson with 15 stolen bases in 26 regular season games. The first pitch through the lefty, Pinckney, is outside. Ruled by the home plate umpire, Joe Gravina. 1-0 with 1 out. Peterson on first. And the lefty catcher out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in Pinckney, heads to Rutgers. Another check over on the runner. Ian, how can the Firebirds control the running game of Bourne?
That is such a tough question. I don't think any team has really had the answer. Obviously, don't fall asleep if you're on the mound.
Stallman in at third. Another check over on Peterson. There might be a pitch clock violation rule, which is very much enacted, but the pitch clock here at Bourne is not on. So nobody knows, other than the umpires, of course, who dictate this, when the clock goes off. And another check over on Peterson, the 4th time.
It's a rule that has been active throughout the Cape Cod Baseball League this year, but there's only one ballpark that actually has a pitch clock on its scoreboard, and that's Chatham's Veterans Field.
None here at Doran. Count still 1-0. Peterson takes off. Foul ball by Pinckney. And the runner's going to have to head back. Much easier for runners to seal on righties than lefties, as the righties have their back toward the runner. Peterson just has to look at the back foot of Romero. If it comes up, he's going to throw over. If his front foot goes up, he's coming toward the plate. For lefties, it's a little bit different. 1-1 with 1 out. The pitch to Pinckney. On the ground, over Romero to second. Oyama boots it. It goes into center field. Peterson goes to third base. We'll see how they rule it. Oyama dove down into the dirt. Thought about getting one. He got none. Runners on the corners with one out for Bourne here in the bottom of the second.
Now batting, the center fielder from Texas.
It goes
Tech,
down as a
number
single.
16, Gage Harrelson.
It's a really difficult play to make for Oyama. Slid towards his right, tried to keep the ball in front of him, deflects off him, and leaks towards the left side of second base, and Peterson gets an extra bag as a result, and Pinckney reaches.
Up comes the 9-hitter, Gage Harrelson. Another lefty in this lineup. 6 lefties of 9 batters for Bourne. First pitch from Romero, popped up foul, left field side out of play. 0-1, 1 out, Pinckney on first and Peterson on third. It's never easy against Bourne, no matter who you have on the mound. A lot of long innings. Romero with 30 pitches. The 0-1 is pitch number 31 as Harrelson squared to Bunny, pulled it back as it almost hit him.
I think he tried to do his best Owen Carpellotti impression there. A little pirouette. Doesn't get a piece of him. Tries to sell it.
Pitch a ball, 1-1. Harrelson would put it down and hope Peterson can come to the plate on a safety squeeze. The 1-1 is fouled away, 1-2. Romero would love a strikeout here, an infield pop-up, or the best scenario, a double play ball. The 1-2 pitch fouled away again at 92 at the top of the zone.
This is a good at-bat from Harrelson. Even if it doesn't end in the result he wants, to continue to drive the pitch count up on Romero, who's gone 6 innings in each of his last 2 appearances, is big.
Romero from the stretch takes another deep breath. The 1-2, strike 3 swinging. He goes to the slider and gets the strikeout for out number 2.
Now batting, the shortstop from Vanderbilt University.
2 outs in this inning, both of them strikeouts. That one a huge one of Harrelson.
That was nasty. Nowhere close to the bottom of his zone. Romero buries it low and in the dirt for his first strikeout of the game. Actually, rather his second of the inning, actually.
Vastine the batter, still runners on the corners. First pitch to him, inside with the fastball. It's all great and well to get the strikeout, to get out number 2. Now you have to get out one of the best college baseball players in the country, Jonathan Vastine out of Vanderbilt. The lefty with the long hair coming out of the helmet. The 1-0 fastball is high and away, ball 2. This rally set up by the bottom of the order by Bourne. A single by Sam Peterson, the 7-hitter, and a single by Hugh Pinckney, the 8-hitter. Not to mention their top of the order. It's as good as it gets. The 2-0 is swing and a miss. Romero powers the fastball past Vastine for strike 1. A lot of speed on third, and the catcher on first. Vastine a little lean in his batting stance. He leans back. The 2-1 pitch from Romero, a fastball called a strike, and Ivan Romero's 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. 2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. The Firebirds up 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. The 40th pitch from Romero, a slider that Vastine lays off. Count full. We'll see if Pinckney, the runner on first, will be running. Romero in desperate need of getting out of this jam. The full count pitch, a slider that Vastine fouls off.
Pinckney was on the move. He's got solid speed for the catching position. Was a very highly touted prospect, a good athlete coming out of Toronto.
We'll do the full count pitch again. Romero with 4 pitches in his toolbox. Shakes off Carpellotti twice. The third sign is the charm. The 3-2 pitch again, fastball fouled back. A battle between Vastine and Romero. The righty Romero out of U of San Diego, and the lefty Vastine out of Vanderbilt. A true war here in the second. Romero in the stretch, takes a deep breath. Kicks and deals the 3-2, once again fouled back on the fastball at 92.
That was a really good pitch to swing at if you're Vastine. 92 right down the middle, and he's just off with the timing. You're probably not going to get a better pitch than that.
It stays full. Pinckney feels like he's doing sprints out here. Keeps having to go and come back. The other full count pitch, popped up foul. Third base side, Stallman gives it a look, but it'll find the stands. With Peterson on third, on first is Pinckney. And a complete war is what we're seeing right now between Romero and Vastine. Romero gets his sign. We'll do the 3-2 again. Another foul ball and a high fastball. This and the word battle does not even describe what we're seeing right now.
For somebody who's got a deep toolbox like Romero, he is locked into that fastball right now, and it's worked.
The crowd getting into this. An over 10-pitch war. 3-2 slider popped up in his center. Eddie King's got it. He's under it. He makes the catch, and Ivan Romero wins the battle against Jonathan Vastine. 2 left on for Bourne. 3-1. Orleans still in front as we head to the third.
Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm Sammy Miller. The Firebirds are up 3-1 heading into the top of the third. Now heading into today's game, the team message is all about taking in everything, making the most of the moment, and not getting too overwhelmed by the pressure of what championship baseball is all about. Now it's so easy to get caught up in all of the emotions of what championships can bring, but they aren't allowing themselves to mentally get to that state of mind. The Firebirds mental performance coach Jay Banfield describes to the team how they have to pretend like they're almost in a bubble in order to not let the outside noise affect them. Instead, they are only focusing on each other and doing everything in their power to play team baseball. The Birds have found the most success when they're passing the baton and being aggressive in the batter's box. It's not all too often that you get a chance to play for a championship title, and the Birds aren't taking it for granted one bit and plan to take advantage of every single opportunity on the diamond. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. Ivan Romero needed some mental toughness to get through that battle. Over 10 pitches, Jonathan Vastine, and wins the battle between him and the left-handed leadoff hitter. And that's huge as we go into the third, still 3-1 Orleans.
Huge is an understatement, right? We were waiting for Romero. I mean, it's been a pretty long 2 innings here, but for him to get out of it, working through some traffic, and after his Orleans offense gave him 3 runs over these 2 innings, he delivers against one of the toughest outs in this order. You know, his pitch count at 46 after 2 innings, but you don't even care about that. You got to feel like the confidence of this group now feels really good.
Matt Hallback will lead off the third. It's not like Henry Weiker's pitch count's in a good spot either. Also 40 pitches through 2. Seems like we're going to be seeing the bullpen pretty shortly for both teams.
And both teams, I would say, feel good about where their bullpen depth is right now. For Orleans, you've got your top options available tonight. And for Bourne, headed into last night's game against Orleans, hadn't used a single pitcher in the playoffs, ice in the first 2 rounds, so he's burnt.
Weiker back to the mound. Again, Matt Hallback, who struck out the first inning. For Orleans in the first, 1 run in the second. Now here in the third, up 3-1. Signing low for a ball. Weicker from Wellesley, Massachusetts. Big deal for him to get to there for a couple minutes, of course, before the day. Orleans, this is back on June 9th, a game as the 1-1 is swung and missed at on a slider low. But the rain had other plans, and the scout game was canceled. Orleans had to head back home before opening day, which was the next day against Hyannis.
Feels like 2 years ago.
The 1-2 is low. 2-2 with nobody out, nobody on. Almost 2 months ago from today. We're on August 12th. We're still playing baseball here in the Cape. Might even keep us here to October. Who knows? The 2-2 fastball on the ground to shortstop. Vastine picks it up and throws it to first for the out.
First time tonight, Orleans has not put a leadoff base runner aboard. Multiple base runners got on to start each of the last 2 innings against Weicker. That was big, but it's got to be pretty cool for him to be pitching not only in the Cape Cod Baseball League, but just to be from Massachusetts, from outside of Boston, playing in the best summer ball league in the country, and to do it a couple hours away from home.
First pitch to Micheletti is down and away for a ball. What's the most interesting part about this, and we mentioned both starters' pitch counts, Romero at 46, Weicker now at 46 as well, through 2 1/3 as Micheletti takes a fastball for a strike, is that both pitchers have an issue to walk. It's been a lot of long at-bats from these batters to start off the game. One free pass issued by Weicker on a hit by pitch. On the outside corner for a strike, 1-2.
You talked about it before the game, throughout the entirety of yesterday's game.
Bourne walked 4 times, 3 extra base runners. 1-2 is high, Micheletti lays off. And that can prove biggie, and traffic on the base paths, so important.
You go back to that Game 2 win against YD, and Orleans gets runners on third base just by taking good at-bat after good at-bat.
Out number 2 made. Micheletti heads back to the dugout. Sam Peterson, we mentioned his speed, and not only applies on the base paths, but also in left field.
Sam Peterson looks like he's field team because he has had to race from left to right, up and down the outfield. It's not been easy for him, but he's done a good job.
2 outs, nobody on. Eddie King, the batter. A fastball stays outside. Peterson, the most speed on this team, but a Bourne team that is very athletic in all different ways. Talk about the second baseman, Josh Grota-Grauer, the shortstop Vastine. Up and down this roster, a lot of athleticism as the 1-0 is a fastball for a strike.
Lineup that has no real weakness, and all of these guys are really good from the plate, but their defense so sound.
1-1 to King is low. Pinckney starting behind the plate today. After Bender started behind the plate yesterday, Derek Bender the DH today. 2-1 to King, inside 3-1. With 2 outs and nobody on, 3-1 Orleans here in the top of the third.
One of the big losses for Bourne before the playoffs, Caden Bodine, the all-star catcher from Coastal Carolina, left the team.
Can you imagine this lineup with him in it? 3-1, King takes a big swing and misses, 3-2.
It's a good pitch, fastball just beneath the lower third of the zone.
Full count, 2 outs, nobody on. Weicker looking to go 1-2-3. He does not as King walks. A pitch low. Eddie King will take first base. It brings up Brandon Stallman.
Good at bat from Eddie King Jr. Weicker headed into that battle and retired 5 in a row since striking out Joe Oyama last inning. But you don't just give up on the inning with 2 strikes and already 2 outs recorded. He's going to keep working him.
On first is King. Led the team in stolen bases in the regular season. First pitch to Stallman, a check swing chopper down the third base line. That goes foul. For strike 1. Workers pitch count now at 57 here in the third. King on first, held on by Michelle. And the lefty's going to throw over, and Michelle, oh my goodness, a leap and a grab to keep that in front. That ball could have been headed down the first base line, and King could have been at second, maybe even third. Talk about athleticism.
He's got great speed. Led the team in stolen bases during the regular season, but has not stolen a base since July 30th.
The 0-1 is Stallman in the air with some pop to center. Back goes Harrelson near the track, still tracking it. He makes the catch in front of the warning track. It's deep out there in center, 395 to be exact. Stallman put a good swing recorded on the flyout. One runner left on for Orleans on Eddie King's walk. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Orleans up 3-1. Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network, we head to the bottom of the third inning. Birds up 3-1 here in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship Series. It's 2-3-4 for Bourne here in the third. And yesterday, it was the second time around that Bourne started to hit. This time, now second time around for them here in Game 2.
Well, it all started with Jonathan Vastine. And a 10-pitch at bat to end the second inning that ended in a fly out to center field. Ivan Romero's got to feel good, although he's worked through traffic in each of the first two innings, but he can get anybody out in this order. But can he get out JKG?
First pitch to Crota Grauer in the air to right field down the line. Trimble sprinting near the line, and it drops for a hit. Crota Grauer at first base. He'll head back as the ball almost gets away. Or a ball came out of the ump's pocket as that ball was near the first base line. I haven't seen that before. On first is Crota Grauer on the hit down the right field line with nobody out, and up comes Kendall Diggs.
First base umpire Chris Engstrand with the hidden ball trick. That was a good throw from Fenwick Trimble. Had to spin and rip one from the right field line to keep a pretty athletic Josh Crota Grauer at first.
Everything's falling for Crota Grauer right now. Coming into this game, hitting 517 in the playoffs. You think 3 is pretty good. How about starting your batting average with a 5? A first pitch fastball dealed a strike to Kendall Diggs, who's truly struggled in these playoffs, hitting .217 and 23 at-bats coming into this summer. Coming into these playoffs, I should say. The 0-1 slider in for a strike. Fastball working for Romero, but the off-speed has really made him a more complete pitcher against this Bourne lineup.
Went fastball heavy in that 10-pitch at bat to end last inning against Jonathan Vastine, but his changeup and his curveball, 2 really good offerings too.
0-2 to Diggs. High fastball laid off with Crota Grauer on first. Ian, I think the craziest thing, we mentioned the home runs, RBIs by Crota Grauer in this stretch. How about no strikeouts in the playoffs?
Just putting up video game-like numbers. He's made for these moments.
Runner on first. 1-2 to Diggs. It drops in, but not in the strike zone. Just a little bit outside.
He's gotten the national attention. You know, he was a finalist for the shortstop of the year collegiately.
On first, Crota Grauer. 2-2 the count to Diggs. The pitch from Romero, a fastball fouled away. You got to think with Romero, who's now over 50 pitches. I know we can go about 80 to 90, but thinking for the rest of this game, you're going to have to bring some arms out of the bullpen soon. Hopefully Romero can stay efficient and successful. 2-2, still the count. Slider right back up the middle on the ground. Penny slips, will step on second. The call, out at second base. Jack Penny fielded the ball almost slipped on the dirt, then got back to the bag and stepped on the bag. Scott Landers he's lost his mind as he goes along the third base line. He cannot believe that Kuroda Grauer was called out. The runner is still on the bag. The second base umpire, who's Christopher Scott, called him out, and he says that's enough to Landers. Says heads back to the dugout. Landers still barking back at him. Kuroda Grauer's out. He didn't even know he was out. He'll head back to the dugout. 1 out on the fielder's choice. Penny steps on the bag. On first is Diggs, and up comes Eblin.
That was such a tough play to make as the boos rain in here from Doran. Penny was parallel with the bag and somehow cut on a dime and ended up right in front of Kuroda Grauer. Got the force out.
1 out with 1 on. The lefty Eblin. Pop-up foul on the first pitch. These are the defensive plays that can make or break a game. And Jack Penny, ever since he's moved over to shortstop on a decision by manager Kelly Nicholson, has really flourished.
His 16th start in a row at short after beginning the year at third base, was an all-star starter on the hot corner.
The 0-1 pitch to Eblin, a changeup that's fouled away, 0-2. Penny will most likely be the starting shortstop at Notre Dame in his junior year in the spring. One of very few Power 5 players on this Orleans Firebirds roster, but that's how they like it. 0-2 to Eblin. 1 out, 1 on. The pitch from Romero, a fastball, doesn't get the call as it goes outside.
You look at the Bourne order. 8 of the 9 are Power 5 guys. The only one that isn't Derek Bender. College baseball a little bit different than college football. Coastal Carolina's a powerhouse.
1-2, fastball just outside. Carpellotti looked to bring it back. 2-2. Not a lot of chasing from this Bourne order. 2 strikeouts for Romero. 1 out here in the bottom of the third with 1 on. The 2-2 fastball. Cold, strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Ivan Romero gets strikeout number 3 as Eblin goes back to the dugout.
Now batting, the DH from Coastal Carolina, number 44, Derek Bender.
This Bourne team just seems a little rattled right now. It's a group that hasn't gotten flustered very often in the playoffs over the last few years, but some things just aren't clicking.
Bender the batter with 2 outs. He takes low from Romero. And we have the TrackMan right in front of us. It wasn't that crazy of a call to call that a strike. Right at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. 1-0 to Bender. Pounded down the right field line, but Trimble's playing right over there, and he makes the catch along the line. Ivan Romero works through a clean third and will head to the fourth. 3-1 Orleans in front here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network. Birds up 3-1 as we head to the fourth inning, and Henry Weicker back to the mound. And a few calls goes Orleans' way here in the bottom, or back in the bottom of the third, and they still put up a 0. They're second in a row.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a wonky game so far for Bourne. JKG forced out at second base on a controversial 50-50 call. Jack Penny made a great play from short. And then Bryce Eblin goes down looking, and the Bourne faithful not a fan of that strike three call either. All said and told, you get it done against the top of the order, but bottom of the order has to step up for the Braves.
Justin Rubin takes a strike to start off the fourth from Henry Weicker, the lefty. His pitch count right in the same boat as Romero. Here comes pitch number 61, a swing and a miss on the fastball. 0-2 to Rubin. Of course, these umpires are the best of the best in the league. Well, they wouldn't be here in the championship series. The 0-2 on the ground pass. Weicker, in comes Kuroda Grauer to the hand. What a play! This guy just doesn't stop. Kuroda Grauer makes the difficult look easy and gets Rubin at first base.
About a week of dribblers you can get. Only 50 miles per hour off the bat from Rubin. And JKG already made one SportsCenter worthy play last night, and this has been a Bourne Braves team that has prided itself on elite fielding this summer, and he's the center of that.
First pitch to Owen Carpellani is a slider that ends up high for a ball. 1 out, nobody on. 3-1 Orleans here in the top of the fourth inning. More incredible defense from Bourne. Orleans has had their highlight reel as well tonight. 1-0, swing and a miss on a slider, 1-1. Lefty Weicker against the lefty Carpellani, who swings and misses at a fastball low and in. Weicker isn't lighting up the radar gun. Fastball right around 88, 89 miles per hour. Pairs that with a slider. The 1-2 pitch to Carpellani, high and away for a ball. It's been no scoring since the top of the second. Carpellani goes down swinging. A slider gets him out in front, and strikeout number 3 for Weicker. He's out number 2 in the fourth.
It's not easy to come up big when you swing and miss a couple times early in the at-bat and put yourself into a 2-strike count. Carpellani swings and misses at 2 pitches well outside of his zone, and then ends up going down on a curveball that lands right in the middle of the plate.
Weicker gets his sign from Pinckney. The batter is Oyama with 2 outs and nobody on. He takes low for a ball. I think the reason why Weicker's pitch count is so high, even though he's throwing a lot of strikes, a lot of first pitch balls to their batters. 1-0 to Oyama, pop up behind third. Going to be a tough play. In comes Peterson. It's dropping. It drops in fair territory. To second goes Oyama. Mark that down as a double, as Sam Peterson couldn't get there. Second double of the day for Joe Oyama.
Joe Oyama finds a way. He's got great speed. His first double was legit, right? That was down the line in the corner, and Peterson had to collect it. That time around, 70 miles an hour off the bat, 200 feet. That's the definition of a blooper, but with Oyama's speed and craftiness on the base paths, he'll stretch it into an extra base hit.
Here's Fenwick Trimble, who has 2 RBIs already tonight, with a runner on second in Oyama and 2 outs. Weicker looks back at second. The pitch to Trimble is in the dirt, but not away from Pinckney enough, as he blocks it right in front of home plate. Oyama stays at second. Trimble has really come on in these playoffs. Now with 7 RBIs and 5 hits. (1-0) the count to the righty Trimble. The slider is pulled foul, third base side.
Just got to give so much credit to the approach of Trimble. He had the lowest batting average in the league among qualified batters during the regular season, but had a couple of really good games mixed in there, and Kelly Nicholson has continued to give him opportunities to showcase his power, and he's come through when his team has needed him the most.
Similar story to Josh Kuroda Grauer, a low batting average in the regular season, but coming on when it matters. Weicker really taking his time. The 1-1 sliders outside, 2-1.
We've already seen a pitch clock violation called against both pitchers tonight. Not there, though.
Oyama held on by Josh Kuroda-Grauer. Takes his lead, 2-1 the count to Trimble. The pitch from Weicker, a fastball that Trimble fouls away, first base side, and into the masses. Fans on the first base and third base side here tonight, and especially in the outfield, all along the guardrail. 2-2 with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Weicker with the look back. Now the 2-2 fastball's fouled back. Trimble putting on another battle.
Back-to-back fastballs from Weicker. One up and in. The next just high above the zone. And Trimble, he's timing it up well.
The lefty Weicker gets the sign from Pinckney, the catcher. To the 2-2 again, a slider goes the other way into the glove of Kuroda-Grauer, who throws to first base, and Michelle records out number 3. Runner left in scoring position for Orleans in Oyama. Another 0 put on the board by the pitching. 3-1 Orleans as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Back here on the Birds Broadcast Network. It gets more and more intense as we go through the game. Bottom 4, Birds up 3-1. After 2 runs in the first, a run in the second. Bourne with a run in the bottom of the first. They bring up Garrett Michelle, who struck out in the second. And Ivan Romero's been good through 3 with 3 strikeouts as well.
60 pitches, 2/3 of them in for strikes. He's given Orleans at least 6 innings on the mound in each of his previous 2 starts.
We'll see how long he can go tonight. Of course, the last start of the season, last appearance for him, no matter what. To Michelle, pop up a high one into left. Micheletti still waiting for it, now makes the catch for his first put out of the night. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 4th.
Michelle, frustrated as he tossed the bat, running that one out. Knew he just missed what would have been his 4th home run of the postseason.
It brings up Sam Peterson, the righty, out of Iowa. First pitch from Romero, a strike at the bottom of the zone with the fastball. And it seems like, and you can see it through verbal and physical actions, Bourne is very frustrated in this game. 0-1 to Peterson at the bottom of the zone, another strike, 0-2.
I don't necessarily blame them. They haven't gotten very lucky tonight. I'd say Orleans has caught a few breaks, but even so, it's a 2-run game.
0-2 to Peterson. The fastball is high, and Peterson holds up.
And, you know, I don't want to deflect the blame to one person, but Scott Landers has been extremely frustrated tonight. And when you kind of see the leader of your team being frustrated, you know, it doesn't necessarily help the cause either.
Not at all. 1-2 to Peterson is low. I'm surprised he hasn't been thrown out yet. Him and Chris Scott, the second base umpire, really had a screaming match back last inning.
No, he hasn't received the Jamie Shevchuk Orleans treatment yet.
2-2 slider just outside. Peterson has worked this count from 0-2 back to 3-2. A single last time up for Peterson. Romero kicks and deals the full count pitch. A pop-up into left. Back goes Micheletti at the track. At the warning track. He makes the catch. It's deep out there. You really got to swing one to get it out. And a fly out to Micheletti for the second out of the inning.
And swing it Peterson did over 360 feet off the bat. And Micheletti didn't necessarily take the cleanest path towards that fly ball. Originally it was tracking towards his left and flipped his hips open towards his right and made the catch. Doesn't matter how pretty it is. You got to make the play.
Romero and Pinckney lines one in the right on the first pitch. A single for Hugh Pinckney, his second of the day. A 2-out single for Bourne here in the fourth.
When you have somebody like Derek Bender, you obviously want to put him in the lineup as much as possible. But Hugh Pinckney is one of the best young players in the country. Had a really good freshman season with Rutgers, was a high school MLB draft pick to the Padres. He hits the ball hard.
He's on first. Gage Harrelson, the batter. A ball fired low by Romero. With the top of the order looming again, Jonathan Vastine on deck. The lefty Harrelson struck out in the second on a slider low and in. 1-0, fouled away. Romero looking to get through 4, allowing just 1. He says every time he takes the mound in the playoffs, he's looking to go as long as possible. The 1-1 is fouled away. 1-2 with 2 outs. And save some arms in that bullpen. That is all rested for Kelly Nicholson. Everybody but Everett Catlett, who pitched 5 1/3 last night, are raring to go. The 1-2 pitch to Harrelson, another slider that he just gets a piece of. Six innings against Harwich in Game 2 at White House Field, allowing just 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The 1-2 to Harrelson, a slider that he just gets a piece of. It's popped up foul just over the Bourne dugout on the third base side.
Impressive that Harrelson was able to get a piece of that pitch. Off speed, nearly in the dirt to stay alive in a 2-strike count.
Orleans looking to force a Game 3 tomorrow, back at Eldridge Park. To the 1-2 again with 2 outs and 1 on. The pitch, a slider. Once again, Harrelson barely touches. 6 hits for both teams. No errors. And Orleans up 3-1. We'll do the 1-2 pitch again. Romero and Harrelson, a fastball, strike 3, swinging. Ivan Romero, ice in his veins through 4. Another strikeout for the righty. Make it 4 on the night through 4 innings, allowing just 1 run. 3-1 the score with Orleans in front here on the Birds Broadcast Network. And my man Ian Nicholas takes over when we come back after break.
Back on the Birds Broadcast Network in the top of the fifth here from Doran Park. Game 2 of the CCBL Championship in Orleans. Down 1-0 in the series. Owns the lead 3-1. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Orleans. And it's a Bay State battle between Jack Penny from Wakefield and out for his 5th inning of work, Henry Weicker. Weicker born and raised in Wellesley. Both guys just outside of Boston, their roots. First pitch is fouled over the backstop from Penny. He'll fall behind 0-1 in this lefty-on-lefty battle. Penny 1 for 2 on the game. Singled in the first and flew out to left in the second. Weicker, he's thrown 75 pitches, his 76th in for a strike, and now ahead 0-2 on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Orleans with a 3-1 lead, top 5. Neither team has scored in the last 2 innings. The 0-2. Breaking ball in at the knees of Penny for ball 1. He's still behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Orleans, the black vest jerseys with the white lettering, the red trim, the red undershirts, and the white pants to go along with the black helmets. Weicher's 1-2. Upstairs, swing and a miss, strike 3. Dylan, it hasn't been the cleanest outing for Weicker, but he gets another strikeout and a big out to start the 5th inning.
He does. A fastball high on Penny. Him and Oyama, that's kind of been their kryptonite here in the playoffs. And a little bit of a sidewinding action from Weicker there to get the strikeout, his 4th of the night.
Strikeouts in each of the last 2 innings for Weicker. He now faces Matt Hallback, the right-handed batter. Takes a pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. Nobody on, 1 out. 3-1 Orleans, top 5 in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship. Weicher's 1-0 is fouled down the left field line and bounces off the sidewall. 1-1. Hallback 0 for 2, and now 7 for 22 from the plate so far in the playoffs. A strikeout in the first, a ground out in the third. The 1-1 pitch, another foul ball, this time chopped off the screen that protects the Bourne dugout on the left side of the field. And Weicker gets ahead in a count, 1-2. Bourne wearing the all-white jerseys with the red lettering and the camo hats. Weicher's 1-2. Hallback chops it towards the left side of the infield, backhanded by Vastine, throws across his body to first, and the scoop is made by Garrett Michelle for out number 2. Had to lean towards the infield to secure that ball thrown by Vastine, but kept the right foot on the bag, and that's back-to-back outs to start the inning. 2nd inning in a row, actually the 3rd inning in a row in which Weicker has recorded the first 2 batters.
Great play by Vastine. He is so smooth over there at short. Makes it look so easy going into the hole.
Eddie Micheletti Jr., the left-handed bat, takes the ball as Weicker misses outside 1-0. That Vanderbilt infield is something special, well represented here in the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer. Weicher's 1-0 on the lower third for a strike, 1-1. Whether it's R.J. Austin from Yarmouth Dennis, who plays at second, Jonathan Vastine for Bourne, the shortstop, or Davis Diaz from Brewster, who plays third, it's an unbelievable infield. The 1-1 from Weicker is cracked to right, diving Josh Kuroda-Grower again. Leans towards his right and secures another line out. And for the 2nd night in a row, he ends the 5th inning with a SportsCenter-worthy snag. Henry Weicker goes 1-2-3 in the top of the 5th. Orleans still leads 3-1. We go to the bottom of the frame on the Birds Broadcast Network. bottom of the fifth on the Birds Broadcast Network. Henry Weicker goes 1-2-3 for Bourne in the top of the inning. Ivan Romero back on the bump for his fifth inning of work. Tries to do the same in the bottom of the frame. Top of the order due up for the third time tonight for the Bravos. It starts with Vandy's Jonathan Vastine, the left-handed bat, to face the right-handed pitcher. Vastine 1 for 2 on the night. He singled to start this game in the first. Romero's 76th pitch of the night. Misses low, check swing from Vastine, but he went around, according to third base umpire Jeff Merzell, and he goes behind 0-1. Romero, the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball, which is cracked, just foul down the right field line. Past Matt Hallback at first. Quickly 0-2 to number 2.
This is a big inning for Romero. Third time around. You have to continue to switch up your pitches. That was 2 sliders to Vastine. It's been fastball heavy first 2 times through. Now he's got to execute a changeup, curveball, and slider. Use the off-speed pitches because the fastball is what Bourne's sitting on right now.
Sat on it last night against Grayson Carter in the middle of the game. The 0-2 pitch. Upstairs it misses high. Goes to the fastball there. That's ball 1. Vastine still behind 1-2. Leading off for Bourne here in the bottom of the fifth. The 1-2 pitch. Low of his own. Off-speed that go around. A second straight ball to even the count 2-2. Braves trail 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Romero takes a breath. His 2-2 pitch. High in the zone. Swung on and foul to the backstop. The curveball keeps the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Both teams with 6 hits tonight. Braves scored all the way back in the first inning off an RBI double from Bryce Eblin. Vastine scored. Braves haven't scored since. Romero, another 2-2. Vastine pops it up, left side of the field, towards the foul line, and on the line, it's caught by Eddie Micheletti Jr. for the first out of the inning. A couple of really good at-bats from Jonathan Vastine against Ivan Romero tonight, but the last 2 have both ended in flyouts. That was a 5-pitch at-bat. Now over 80 pitches for Romero as he faces Josh Kuroda-Grauer.
Good job by Romero. Continues to switch up pitch repertoire here against the top of the order.
First pitch strike to JKG, the right-handed bat from Rutgers. The New Jersey native goes behind 0-1 with the bases empty and 1 out. Romero's 0-1 is in the air to right field, straight into the glove of Fenwick Trimble. He barely had the move, a couple steps towards his left. A 91-mile-an-hour line out from Kuroda-Grauer for the second out of the inning.
Now batting.
Romero's doing exactly what he needs to do. First pitch strikes, and then have your defense help you out as well. Defensive positioning for the Firebirds has really helped them out today as well. Trimble was right down the line there to make the catch.
Romero's first pitch to the left-handed Kendall Diggs, in for a strike, a fastball right on the inner half of the plate to get ahead 0-1. Diggs 0 for 1 on the game, got on with a fielder's choice in the third. The 0-1, he chops foul to the backstop. Continuing to get ahead in the count is Romero. He tries to go 1-2-3 like Weicker did in the top of the frame. Bases empty, 2 out. No balls, 2 strikes to Kendall Diggs. Orleans ahead 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth. Romero's 0-2 is right past the mound, off the second base bag, gloved by Penny, is thrown to first in time. Oh my goodness! Jack Penny, a wizard. That ball bounced off a second base bag, straight up into the glove of Jack Penny. He never lost focus. His throw to first in time, and it ends in an unbelievable 1-2-3 frame. You won't see that one very often. And you don't see any scoring for the third straight inning. 3-1, Orleans still in front. We go to the top of the sixth on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to the Birds Broadcast Network. I'm Sammy Miller. The Firebirds are up 3-1 heading into the top of the 6th. Throughout the entire regular season and into the Firebirds' playoff run, the team has a phrase of the game that they emphasize from the first inning all the way to the 9th inning. Today is all about winning the inning. Before every inning, the players and coaching staff say, let's win the inning, one inning at a time. This is helping them stay focused solely on the job at hand and never lets them get too far ahead of themselves mentally. It's all about focusing on one pitch, one catch, and one out. This team sometimes becomes cold and hot at certain parts of the game, but tonight they want to stay as consistent as possible throughout and, of course, win the inning. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. The focus in the middle of the infield right now for both teams, Dylan, has been sensational. Josh Grauer with a highlight reel play to end the top of the 5th, and Jack Penny one-ups him in the bottom of the frame.
It was a play I've never seen before in a baseball field, which is why there was so much excitement, as you said, Ian. Off the bag on a hard ground ball by Diggs into that bare hand of Jack Penny, makes the strong throw to first for the out. Not only saves a base runner, but also saves Romero's pitch count. He now stands at 87 through 5. He looked good in that inning. I think I'd give him another.
Somebody who's not going to get another inning is Henry Weicker. Done after 5 innings on the mound, gave up 3 earned runs off 6 hits with 4 strikeouts and a walk, and he's replaced by Brady Atham, the 6-foot, 205-pound right-handed pitcher, originally by way of Maine. Just finished up his sophomore season at UConn. He faces 6, 7, and 8 in the Orleans order. It starts with the center fielder, Eddie King Jr. Atham's first pitch misses outside, pops out of a glove of Hugh Pinckney behind the plate, and the right-handed King gets ahead 1-0 against the right-handed hurler.
Very similar to what Bourne did last night. A righty to start in Cunningham, and then they bring out the lefty Free tonight. Opposite, lefty Weicker, righty Afton.
Afton delivers a strike, looking 1-1. King Jr. tonight laid down a sac bunt in the first, walked in the third. Leads off for Orleans in the top of the 6th. Birds ahead 3-1. The 1-1 chopped weakly towards third, gloved in the grass by Evelyn. His throw to first in time to retire Eddie King Jr. 1 away here in the 6th inning.
Bryce Evelyn was played in the exact right position right there, on the grass, cut off Vastine. He was the man to make the play. The shortstop Vastine had no chance with the speed of King. Orleans has to get the offense going now. 3 straight innings without a run, and this 2-run lead is nothing for Bourne.
5 in a row retired. The Firebirds have gone a little cold. Atham's first pitch to Brandon Stallman is fouled away. The left-handed batter goes behind 0-1. He's 0 for 2 on the game and is now on an 0 for 6 stretch in his last 2 games against Bourne. The UNC Charlotte Rising senior trying to turn around his playoff series. Atham's 0-1. Misses low and in for ball 1. Evens the count 1-1. With nobody on, 1 away, and a 3-1 Orleans lead in the top of the 6th in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship. Athams 1-1. Inside with the fastball, first strike 2. He gets ahead 1-2.
Now the bullpen parade comes out. Hard-throwing right-handed pitcher after right-handed pitcher throwing hard, just like Atham.
Atham, that fastball in at 91 miles an hour. His 1-2 goes back to the fastball, chopped over the head of Atham, the right side of the infield. It gets by both Vastine and Josh Grauer towards the right side of second base. A hit that breaks an 0 for 6 streak for Brandon Stallman. The 7th hit of the night for Orleans, a 1-out single.
Great job by Stallman. Puts the ball in play. Not hard, but in the right spot. Grauer was positioned more toward first base. It went into the hole, and for once, Ian, Grauer doesn't get the ball and make the play.
No, the middle of the infield. No more Sports Center-worthy plays here in the top of the 6th inning. Only hit 70 miles an hour off the bat of Stallman. Justin Rubin at the plate, the right-handed batter, swings and fouls one to the backstop. He goes behind 0-1. Rubin 1 for 2 on the night, singled and came around the score on a sac fly from Fenwick Trimble in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 4th inning. 1 on, 1 out. 3-1 Orleans, top 6. Atham goes through the signs, sets his 0-1. Misses just low to even the count, a ball and a strike. Atham's been very good this summer. Overall on the year, a 3.24 ERA across 17 innings pitched with 17 strikeouts and 10 walks, but struggled in his lone appearance in the playoffs. The 1-1, swing and a miss, a fastball low, falling behind Ruben 1-2. Atham pitched in a 14-8 win for Bourne at Katuitt on August 4th, but gave up 3 earned in just under 2 innings off 3 hits and 3 walks. His ERA shot up from 1.8 to 3.2 on the year after that outing. Atham's 1-2. Bit of a check swing that gets out of a park towards right. Ruben still behind in a count, a ball and 2 strikes, with Brandon Stallman on first after his single that leaked through the middle of the infield. 3-1 Orleans, top 6, trying to extend the CCBL Championship Series to a Game 3 tomorrow night. Atham, another 1-2. Fastball in the dirt, blocked up by Pinckney for ball 2. An even 2-ball, 2-strike count to Justin Ruben.
Ruben is always going to give a good at-bat. Not one to expand the zone a lot, and a lot of room along the right side, with the middle infield playing in double play depth and Michelle holding on Stallman at first.
Atham, a 3-pitch mix, including a fastball, a changeup, and a curveball. He's 2-2. Upstairs for ball 3. A good at-bat from the future Pepperdine Wave. Spent the first 2 years of his collegiate career with a power in the ACC with Virginia. The count is full. Runner on first is Stallman with 1 away. 3-1 Birds, top 6. Atham's full count pitch. On the ground towards the right side of the infield, Kuroda Grauer looking towards first. He makes the throw to get the out of Ruben, but sliding into scoring position at second is Stallman. That's the second out of the inning, and here comes Owen Carpellotti.
Another runner in scoring position for the Firebirds as Ruben has a productive out. In these playoff games, especially in the championship, it's so important to continue to move runners over, get them in position that one hit would score them. Carpellotti, a single here, would score Stallman.
Carpellotti was plunked in the second inning, struck out in the 4th. The left-handed catcher to face the right-handed pitcher. Atham's pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Well-located fastball, low and away. Atham probably knows Carpellotti pretty well. UConn against Georgetown. A Big East on Big East battle in a big game. Game 2 of the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. Bourne up 1-0 in the series. Atham up 0-1 in a count. His pitch. Fastball just low for ball 1. Carpellotti evens the count, a ball and a strike. Stallman on second. He singled with 1 out and then got to scoring position after Ruben's ground out to the right side of the infield. 3-1 Orleans, top of the 6th. Atham the 1-1. Carpellotti, a swing and miss. Fastball right down the middle of the plate. The Michigan native behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Atham trying to bounce back. Sub-2 ERA in the regular season and gave up 3 earned out of a bullpen in his first appearance in the postseason 8 days ago at Katuitt. His 1-2. Upstairs, ball 2. A fastball just high at 92 miles an hour from Atham. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 2 out. A good take from Carpellotti, and he's still alive in the left-handed batter's box. Trying to add to a 3-1 Birds advantage in the top of the 6th. Atham set of the belt, his 2-2. Fastball popped up, shallow left field. Coming in, Sam Peterson. He makes the catch. Extends his left-handed glove just towards his left shoulder. And Brandon Stallman stranded in scoring position after a 1-out single. Brady Atham does what he did throughout the majority of the regular season. Dominate out of a bullpen for Bourne. The score stays 3-1 Orleans. We go to the bottom of the 6th on the Birds Broadcast Network. We're back on the Birds Broadcast Network in the bottom of the sixth. Thanks so much for joining us for Game 2 of the CCBL Championship from Doran Park. Ian Nicholas, Dylan Pescatore on the call. Bryce Eblin, who owns the longest hit streak in Bourne Braves history at 21 games. He extended it already tonight with an RBI double in the first. His 22nd consecutive game with a hit. Ivan Romero back on the mound for inning number 6. And the California native misses low, 1-0 to the left-handed batter. Romero, that was his 87th pitch of the game, trying to get his 3rd consecutive start with at least 6 innings on the mound. His 1-0 pop foul towards left. Brandon Stallman chasing it towards the sidewall, just past the dugout, and it's out of play. 1-1.
You can see this Orleans defense wants to steal every out they can for Ivan Romero, giving it all on every single play. Just like Bourne's doing on their side, defense has proved worthy tonight.
Not an error for either team. Romero kick steals the 1-1. Swing and a miss. A good breaking ball from the University of San Diego standout. He gets ahead 1-2.
That's a strong changeup to Eblin. Remember, he got him caught looking last time with the changeup. What does he go with here?
The 1-2. Weakly grounded towards Jack Penny. He fields it just on the lip of the grass and makes a great throw to first. Jack Penny had an unreal play to end the 5th inning, which was 1-2-3 for Romero. And the shortstop from Notre Dame makes another strong throw to retire Eblin here in the bottom of the 6th.
Jack Penny had to charge in. The ball was slowly dribbling on the grass, a barehanded pickup and throw. Incredible.
Romero's first pitch is smoked to left against Derek Bender, but foul. 83 miles an hour off the bat for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleer. Bender 0 for 2 tonight with a couple flyouts to right field. For 6 so far in this championship series. A Cape League All-Star who hit well over 350 during the regular season. 7 runs batted in the postseason. The 0-1 in the strike to Bender. With the bases empty and 1 out, Orleans ahead 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. The fastball. Bender swings over top of it. And has a quick word with home plate umpire Joe Gravina. He's behind 1-2. Romero swing back and forth. He sets. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up to right and out of play. Still 1-2. The 92-mile-an-hour fastball low in the zone. Bender, the yellow batting gloves, the red tape along his wrists. Another 1-2. Another out of play behind the backstop. Bender still behind, a ball and 2 strikes. With nobody on and 1 out. Orleans protecting a 3-1 lead. Same score since the top of the 2nd. Another 1-2. And 1 more pop-up, this time along the left field line. Brandon Stallman in foul territory, now in the gravel, makes the catch of out number 2. Ivan Romero, 4th inning, has retired 6 in a row. Tries to go for his second 1-2-3. Garrett Michelle.
As the game goes on, a lot of confidence out there on the mound. It's going to be tough to take him off of it.
Michelle 0 for 2 tonight without a hit so far in the championship series. The left-handed bat headed into his sophomore year at Virginia Tech. The 1-0. Misses up and in with the fastball, 2-0. Started for YD in Game 2 of the first round last year and ended Orleans' season. This go-around trying to extend the Firebirds season with another quality start. The 2-0. The sky to straightaway center field. A catch above his head. Is beaming from the University. Back 1-2-3 innings. Ball from the first-year Firebird and the second-year Cape Cod Baseball League hurler. It stays 3-1 after 6. Orleans in front. We go to the top of the 7th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Top of the 7th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Ian Nicholas, Dylan Pescatore on the call from Doran in Game 2 of a CCBL championship against Bourne. So the rubber for his second inning of work went 1, 2, 3, 4, and installment on second after he singled. Defending champs. Orleans leads in Game 2 of a championship series. Nobody on, 2 out. Affam the 1-2. Popped up to right and out of the ballpark. Another 1-2 pitch awaits Matt Hallback, who hasn't done a whole lot tonight. 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a pair of groundouts. Orleans ahead 4-1. 2 hits to start this 7th inning, including a solo shot for Joe Oyama that landed in the Orleans bullpen in right field. The 1-2. Another foul ball, a high fastball that Hallback just gets a piece of to stay alive with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Affam, somebody with big game experience, playing for a UConn Huskies program that dominates in the Big East. He has pitched in each of the last 2 NCAA tournaments. This is his second postseason appearance in the CCBL. And has now given up 4 earned runs in 2 postseason appearances with the Bravos, trying to become the first team to repeat as champions in the Cape Cod Baseball League since 2016, when Scott Pickler's YD team won 3 years in a row. Bases empty, 2 out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, and another foul ball. Clanks right off the front of a dugout on the left side of the field. A really good at-bat for Matt Hallback after the strike him out, throw him out before his at-bat.
Hallback is making Affam work. We mentioned the strike him out, throw him out. Usually that's great for a pitcher, a double play, and to think you're only one out until the end of the inning. Hallback is making him work for it.
The 7th pitch of the at-bat, up and in. Hallback takes for ball 2, and the count is even. Affam just over 30 pitches. He's recorded 5 outs, went 1, 2, 3, 4 in the 6th, before allowing back-to-back hits to start the 7th inning. A Joe Oyama home run to right to extend the Orleans lead to 3. 4-1 the score in the top of the 7th. Nobody on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a pitch clock violation called on Brady Affam. That's the 3rd time today that a pitch clock violation has come in from the third base umpire, Jeff Merzell. Scott Landers, who's been frustrated night long with the officiating, has a little bit of a word with home plate umpire Joe Gravina. It ends. That's ball 3 in the count. Matt Hallback, it's now a full count with the bases clear and 2 out. Affam's pitch. Another foul ball, laced to right. 91 miles an hour off the bat. Well hit by Hallback. And a long at bat continues. 9 pitches in. (4-1) Orleans, top 7. The payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. Matt Hallback with a 10-pitch at-bat to continue an unbelievable top of the 7th inning for Orleans.
Now batting, the left fielder from George Washington University.
Those are the at-bats that you're going to talk about and talk about and talk about, because not only did you make the pure work, but it keeps this inning going. It lets Eddie Micheletti get another at-bat, continues on with the lineup as we go into the later innings.
So a 2-out walk for Hallback as Micheletti Jr. is at the plate, and he takes a ball. Fastball finishes high from Affam. Micheletti Jr. gets ahead 1-0. 4-1 Orleans with the lead, top 7. Joe Oyama with a leadoff home run to right to push the lead to 3. Affam set at the belt, his 1-0 pitch. Another fastball, this time on the inner half for strike 1 looking. A ball and a strike to the Delaware native, who steps back into the left-handed batter's box. Micheletti Jr., an RBI single in the first, but a fly out and a line out since. Affam the 1-1. A good take from Micheletti at an off-speed pitch that finishes low. 2-1. Mason Manriquez getting warm in the bullpen for Bourne after 2 long innings for Affam. Just under 40 pitches for the UConn Husky. 1 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 1 strike. Pitch on the way home. Low and in, gloved by Pinckney. to keep Hall back at first. Ball 3. Micheletti ahead, 3 balls and a strike.
Talk about the at-bat by Hallback. Now Aftam's continuing to throw pitches upwards of 40. And struggling to find the zone here against Micheletti.
After the strike him out, throw him out of Jack Penny and Fenwick Trimble. Aftam in danger of walking his second straight batter with 2 outs. Hallback on first. He got on with a free pass. The 3-1. Popped up high in the air right behind home plate. Pinckney loses the helmet, tracks towards his own dugout, but instead it's caught, and it's an unbelievable catch from the third baseman, Bryce Eblin. Eblin loses his hat, reaches his left-handed glove all the way out, a full extension right in front of his own dugout for out number 3. A base runner stranded for Orleans, but a run comes across the board. Joe Oyama with as many hits tonight as he had throughout the entirety of the playoffs. He's back, and Orleans still in front 4-1. We go to the bottom of the 7th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Joe Oyama picked the right time to reemerge for Orleans. A solo shot in the top of the 7th extends the Firebirds' advantage 4-1 in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship on the road against Bourne. The Braves took Game 1 last night from Eldridge, but tonight, Dylan, Orleans has a lead not only because of Joe Oyama, but also because of another fantastic start from Ivan Romero.
And momentum is only as good as your next day's starting pitcher. And Ivan Romero was great today. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, no walks. That's the key. No walks, 4 strikeouts on 99 pitches. This is a great outing. He set his team up to get the final 9 outs and to get this win.
So Kelly Nicholson calls for the bullpen, and he calls for an all-star. In Stetson's Jonathan Gonzalez, the 5'11", 185-pound left-handed hurler, originally Florida. His second postseason appearance, pitched on August 9th against YD in a 4-3 Orleans win. 2 innings out of a bullpen, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned, off 4 hits with 3 strikeouts and no walks. 3 of the next 4 batters are left-handed, but the first one Gonzalez faces is a right-handed bat from Iowa, and Sam Peterson, who takes it a fastball high of his own. Gonzalez goes behind 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, fouled right to the top of the netting, 1-1.
Gonzalez has been really good this season. If the thing gets to him at times, a few walking problems, has to throw strikes here.
His 1-1 pitch is not a strike. A breaking ball that misses low and away to the righty. Gonzalez falls behind 2-1. He's working quick. His 2-1 pitch, another breaking ball that drops down the middle of a plate for strike 2, looking to even the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Peterson. 4-1 Orleans in the bottom of the 7th inning. The 2-2. Another breaking ball, another swing and a miss. Jonathan Gonzalez, weeks of action before the playoffs, is back and looking really good as he strikes out Sam Peterson to start the 7th inning.
Number 6, Hugh Pinckney.
And there's a reason that Gonzalez is nicknamed Mr. Changeup, because he throws a nasty one. And that was the changeup to Peterson to get him swinging over the top.
Well, we go back to the changeup here. First pitch strike against the left-handed bat, Hugh Pinckney. This is why you put Gonzalez in. The left-handed batter has to face the left-handed pitcher. A man on deck, a left-handed batter. Jonathan Vastine, top of the order, another lefty. Ground ball towards the second baseman, Oyama, playing right in the outfield grass. He makes the throw to Matt Hall back at first for out number 2. The Rutgers catcher retired on only 2 pitches, and Jonathan Gonzalez has recorded 2 outs on only 7 pitches.
Exactly what the Firebirds needed. You're facing the bottom of the zone, throw strikes, keep the ball low, and then take advantage of the matchups.
Another lefty-on-lefty matchup. The center fielder, Gage Harrelson, 0 for 2 on the game with a pair of strikeouts. He takes at a pitch that misses low for Gonzalez, who falls behind 1-0. Nobody on, 2 away, 4-1 Orleans. The 1-0. In for a strike with the fastball, evens the count, 1-1. Gonzalez, a fantastic, a 2.6 ERA. The 1-1. Cracked once again towards Joe Oyama. Second, it's deja vu. It's the same result. A 2-pitch at bat, and overall, a 10-pitch inning for Gonzalez, who goes 1-2-3. The Birds pitching staff has now gone 1-2-3 in 1, 2, 3 innings in a row. The score stays 4-1 Birds after 7. We go to the network. Back on the Birds broadcast, Game 2 of the CCBL Championship. Bourne leads 1-0, but the Birds lead here tonight from Doran Park, 4-1. Bourne's offense has gone cold, 9 up, 9 down in the last 3 innings against Ivan Romero and Jonathan Gonzalez. But now Scott Landers calls to the bullpen, and he calls upon South Florida's Mason Manriquez, making his 3rd appearance of the summer. Manriquez has pitched in the playoffs on August 7th at Hyannis. Pitched 2 innings in a 9-6 loss for Bourne. Gave up a run off 3 hits. Both of his appearances this summer have been against the Harbor Hawks. Just under 4 innings pitched and 2 runs given up off 5 hits with 3 strikeouts and no walks handed out.
Funny enough, that was lead-in. They lost that Game 1, just like the Firebirds did in this series. Came back to win 2 straight.
Bourne's only loss of the postseason. Meanwhile, the Firebirds trying to avoid losing back-to-back games for the first time since mid-July. Leading off for the Firebirds here in the top of the 8th inning, the center fielder from Louisville, Eddie King Jr. Righty-on-righty matchup. The Cardinal tonight with a sac bunt, a walk, and a ground out. Still without a hit, drove in a run with a single late in yesterday's loss to Bourne. Manriquez's first pitch. A strike on the outer half, 0-1 for the Yonkers, New York native, who's bounced around collegiately, started at Duke, then went down to Florida with Pensacola State, now at USF. Swing and a miss. King Jr. goes behind 0-2. Firebirds scored their first run since the second inning off a Joe Oyama leadoff homer against Brady Atham, who was just yanked after 2 innings on the mound. The 0-2. Launched right into the glove of Jonathan Vastine at shortstop. That was well hit off the bat of Eddie King Jr., 95 miles per hour. And the Vanderbilt stop made it look easy with a little basket catch with his left-handed glove.
University of North Carolina, Charlotte, number 8.
It's almost too easy for these guys in the middle infield. Eddie King smoked that ball, that fastball, just right into the glove of the defender.
The base is empty and 1 away, with the left-handed Brandon Stallman now in the batter's box against Manriquez. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball in the outer half for a strike, 0-1. 4-1 Orleans, top of the 8th inning. Birds in their first Cape Cod Baseball League Championship Series in a decade, looking for their first win in 18 years. The 0-1. Misses low with the fastball, 1-1. Stallman tonight, 1 for 3. Ground out, fly out, and a single in the 6th. He was left stranded as Atham went 1, 2, 3, 4. One of the later additions to this Firebirds position group joined the team in the middle of July. The 1-1. Fastball, which is hammered to right center field towards his left, settling in, making the catch is Gage Harrelson for out number 2. Another hard-hit baseball from the Birds. A 95-mile-an-hour line out from Eddie King Jr. and an 88-mile-an-hour fly out for Brandon Stallman. 2 outs for...
Unlucky for Orleans here in the 8th inning. 2 hard-hit balls. You got to continue to push at it. Have good at-bats. And it seems like they're all over Manriquez's fastball.
A foul on that last pitch. Justin Rubin swings at the first pitch. It's another fastball high in the zone. And he goes behind 0-1 as he sends it to the netting. Base is empty, 2 away. Top of the 8th in game 2. It's just foul. Rubin goes behind 0-2. Singled in the 2nd, scored on a Fenwick Trimble sac fly, but a couple groundouts since.
Rubin's doing a good job of going the other way today. Hitting the ball hard. Now continues to take what he gets.
Rubin, after leading Orleans in batting average during the regular season, joined the Firebirds in early July after his season wrapped up at Virginia. Has cooled off a bit in the postseason with 3 hits on 17 at-bats. Base is empty, 2 out. No balls, 2 strikes, 4-1 Orleans, top 8. The 0-2 from Manriquez. Fastball, which is spoiled high in the zone, sent to the backstop, still 0-2. Manriquez is throwing strikes. 9 pitches, only 1 ball in 2/3 of an inning. Birds with 4 runs off 9 hits tonight. Their latest knock, well, actually their second to last hit, was a solo shot for Joe Oyama last inning. The 0-2, breaking ball, which misses low for ball 1. Rubin still behind 1-2.
You can tell by the level of pitching in this game. This is not no regular July game. The pitching is at its highest level right now. When the misses are misses, they're close. The fastball's at the top of the zone is at 93 to 95.
Manriquez, the 1-2 breaking ball, popped up high in the air towards right field along the line. Both Kendall Diggs and Garrett Michelle give it a look. It dropped the effort from both the right fielder and the first baseman. Neither can get to that pop-up. Rubin, a good at-bat, which has lasted 5 pitches. He's behind 1-2 with the bases empty and 2 out in the top of the 8th. Playoff baseball in the Cape Cod Baseball League. A packed house as the defending champion Braves trying to come back and sweep Orleans. But that's going to look pretty difficult at this point in the game with Orleans ahead 4-1, trying to force Game 3 on the road after the Braves took Game 1 at Eldridge Park last night, 6-4. Manriquez, another 1-2. Strike 3 looking. A fastball high in the zone. Rubin a bit stunned as Manriquez goes 1-2-3 in his first inning of work. It stays a 3-run ball game. Orleans in front 4-1. We go to the bottom of the 8th on the Birds Broadcast Network. Jason Manriquez, whose fastball misses outside of a Georgetown Hoya, 1-0. Manriquez, in his first inning of work out of a bullpen, went 1-2-3 in the 8th, struck out Justin Rubin looking to end the inning. Manriquez the 1-0. Breaking ball that also misses on the outer edge. 2 balls, no strikes.
This half inning is so important for Orleans to draw it at bats, try to push another run across as well, and maybe give Gonzalez a little bit of a break as well. Draw it a long inning.
Foul tip, straight to the backstop. Carpellotti ahead in a count, 2-1. Jonathan Gonzalez, one of the best pitchers in the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer, both as a starter and out of a bullpen. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for the Birds after 6 frames of 1-run ball from Ivan Romero. Nobody on, nobody out. 2 balls and a strike. Manriquez deals. His fastball cut on and missed. An even 2-2 count after back-to-back strikes from Manriquez. The Orleans faithful getting loud, cheering on one of the 10 day 1 guys for the Firebirds in Owen Carpellotti. Born and raised just outside of Detroit. 4-1 Orleans, top 9. The 2-2. Breaking ball is cranked to left and down for a hit past a diving Bryce Evelyn. A leadoff single for Owen Carpellotti. His first hit of the night and the 10th overall for the Birds.
Carpellotti goes the other way. A hard hit ball. That's exactly what they needed to start. And he'll stay on first base. With how good he is defensively as a catcher, I'd keep him as a runner as well.
Back to the top of the order with Joe Oyama, the rising senior from UC Irvine. 3 for 4 on the night with 2 doubles and a home run, which he hit in the 7th. Manriquez deals. Oyama showed bunt, never pulled it back, but outside the zone, 1-0. 4-1 lead for the Birds. Their latest run coming off an Oyama solo shot to right. 3 extra base hits on the evening for the Cape League All-Star. Manriquez the 1-0. Fastball up and away, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes for the 5'7", 175-pound Oyama. Runner on first is Carpellotti after his leadoff single to left. Bryce Evelyn playing in the grass at third against the left-handed Oyama. Manriquez, his 2-0 offering. Check swing from Oyama. He went around. Still ahead in the count, 2-1. 1 on, nobody out. Carpellotti, his lead off first. He gets a bit closer to the bag, being held on by Garrett Michelle, and retakes his lead. 4-1 lead for Orleans in the top of the 9th. Manriquez for 2-1. Foul ball, high in the sky, towards the left field side. 2-2 to Oyama. The Firebirds, a historic season. A crushing loss in Game 1 last night, 6-4 to Bourne. At home from Eldridge, trying to swipe one on the road in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship. Joe Oyama, a big reason why the Birds own a 4-1 lead in the top of the 9th. The 2-2. In for strike 3 looking. Oyama took a pitch up and in and is retired as Manriquez, his second strikeout in under 2 innings on the mound.
Pitch felt a little bit inside there. Gets the call, does Manriquez for out number 1, but a good at-bat from Oyama. And Carpellotti still on first.
After his leadoff single. 1 on, 1 out. 4-1 Orleans top 9. Fenwick Trimble to the plate for the righty-on-righty duel. The first pitch he sees is a curveball that finishes up and away for ball 1. Trimble has continued his epic postseason. Drove in a run with a single in the first, drove in one more an inning later with a sac fly, and also singled in the 7th as well. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul tip straight to the glove at 1-1 to the rising junior from James Madison, originally by way of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Has been one of, if not the most productive Firebird from the plate in terms of raw numbers this postseason. Hit a grand slam in game 1 against YD. The 1-1, swing and a miss. Another off-speed offering from Manriquez. He gets ahead of ball in 2 strikes. Carpellotti still parked on first with 1 away in the top of the 9th. Orleans ahead 4-1. Manriquez pulls the glove up towards his face. The righty deals the 1-2. Fastball misses low and outside, and Trimble evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Multiple hits in 2 of his last 4 games. Has driven in a team-high 7 runs this postseason. Carpellotti on first, 1 out. Manriquez the 2-2. Fastball popped up to right out of a ballpark. We'll do it again. The Bourne Braves looking to repeat as champions in the Cape Cod Bay League in their 3rd championship series appearance in a row. Kelly Nicholson's Firebirds haven't been here in 10 years, haven't won it in 18 years when they beat Bourne in 3 games. The 2-2, breaking ball, another foul ball, and it gets out of a park once more towards the right side of play. A 3rd straight 2-2 pitch awaits Fenwick Trimble.
More great at-bats as the game has gone on by the Firebirds. They're making the opposing pitchers continue to pitch and make good pitches as well. A lot of stress on the opposing pitchers.
This is going to be the 7th pitch of the at-bat between Mason Manriquez and Fenwick Trimble. Another 2-2. A fastball that heads to right and heads foul and out of play once more. On first is Carpellotti. Led this inning off with a single that made its way through the 5-6 hole. 10 hits tonight, 2 runs in the first, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 7th. The Eldridge clap has made its way to Doran. The Firebirds faithful once more. The 2-2 to right field, settling in front of Kendall Diggs for a base hit. 2 hits on the inning for the Firebirds. And more clapping in the background after Fenwick Trimble's 3rd hit of the night. Runners on first and second, 1 away for Jack Penny.
Another instance where we say what an at-bat. Fenwick Trimble, 9 pitches into right field for a base knock, and another runner in scoring position for Orleans to drive in.
Alexa on the game for the Firebirds. 2 hits in the last 3 at-bats against Mason Manriquez from South Florida. Jack Penny singled in the first, has struck out twice and flown out since. The first misses in the dirt, good block by Pinckney to keep Carpellotti at second and Trimble at first. 1-0 to Penny. 4-1 Orleans in the top of the 9th inning.
You'd love to see Penny go the other way here. Vastine is holding on Carpellotti at second. Penny loves to go to left field.
Manriquez looks at Carpellotti at second. Now fastball that misses high and away at 90 miles an hour for ball 2. Jack Penny, who shows patience every single time he's up to bat. Ahead 2 balls, no strikes. First and second, 1 out. 4-1 the score. Orleans the lead over Bourne. Manriquez for 2-0. Another fastball, another miss high. This one at 92. 3 balls, no strikes to the Cape League All-Star and Wakefield, Massachusetts native Jack Penny. Manriquez a ball away from loading the bases with 1 out, and the Braves already trailing 3 runs in the top of the 9th. Trimble on first, Carpellotti on second. The 3-0. Fastball in for a striker, right down the middle at 90 miles an hour. 3-1. Anthony Fagura getting hot in the bullpen alongside the left side of the field from Doran Park for Scott Landers. 2 on, 1 out. 4-1 Orleans, top 9. The 3-1. Fastball smoked down the line into left field. Peterson dives towards his right. He makes the catch. This Bourne defense single time. Second out of the inning. 97 miles an hour off the bat from Penny. And Peterson with a diving catch towards the left field line. Runner still on first and second.
You said it. This is not an easy defense to hit against. They cover a lot of ground. Penny goes the other way, hits it hard, does everything he can do, but doesn't get the result.
Matt Hallback looks for a different kind of result. 0 for 3 tonight, but a great at-bat in the 7th inning against Brady Atham. A 2-out walk for the Cape League All-Star, who just finished up his sophomore season at UC San Diego. Carpellotti on second, Trimble on first, both of them with singles. The pitch. Check swing from Mason Manriquez. He's thrown over 35 pitches and recorded 5 outs. Gets the sign from Pinckney. Behind 1-0. He lets it fly. Fastball, cut on and missed. Hallback finish over top, and the count even 1-1. Carpellotti on second, Trimble on first. 11 hits on the game for the Birds. 4 runs to show for it, and a 3-run lead in the top of the 9th. The 1-1. Breaking ball up and in for ball 2. Hallback back ahead, 2-1. Firebirds lost game 1 last night at Eldridge Park. But just like they have done all season long, they don't go down without a fight. Trying to even the series at 1. Set, pitch, 2-1. Up and in, ball 3. An off-speed offering that misses on the inner half. And for the second batter in a row, 3 balls, 1 strike. Behind an account is Manriquez. Runners on first and second, 2 away, 4-1 Orleans, top of the 9th inning. The 3-1. Fastball is chopped towards Vastine on a hop at second. Underhand toss to JKG for the force out of Fenwick Trimble at second base. Orleans leaves 2 stranded. Puts Mason Manriquez under a lot of duress, but ultimately cannot add to the 3-run lead. Bourne has its work cut out for him. Down 4-1. We go to the bottom of the 9th in Game 2 of the CCBL Championship on the Birds Broadcast Network.
Casey.
Bottom of the 9th, Birds protecting a 4-1 lead. Jonathan Gonzalez back on the mound for his third 6 up, 6 down against Vistetson Hatter. A defensive change for Orleans Dillon. Eddie Micheletti Jr. out and left in Jay Casey.
Better defense, more speed and left. Jay Casey comes in to lock this game down. 3 more outs.
Somebody who's been locked in over the last 22 games. Bryce Eblin on a 22-game hit streak. The first pitch he sees from Jonathan Gonzalez is strike in this lefty-on-lefty battle. Low and away with the changeup. And falls behind 0-1. Drove in the only run of this game for Bourne with an RBI double in the first. The 0-1. Chopped weakly down the first base side. Glove by Hall, back flips to Gonzalez. And Gonzalez loses the ball. And Eblin slides in safe the first. Forward for Bourne, who catches a break to start the bottom of the 9th inning. That's an error on Jonathan Gonzalez, an E1. First error of the game for either team.
From Coastal Carolina, number 44, Derek Bender.
I'll bring up the Cape League All-Star, Derek Bender, the right-handed bat from Coastal Carolina, with the tying run on deck. 4-1 Orleans, bottom 9. Gonzalez deals and misses high, 1-0. The Bourne crowd rowdy after catching that break. The 1-0. In for a strike high in the zone, 1-1. Sean Matson, the Cape Cod Baseball League's reliever of the year, getting hot in the bullpen for the Firebirds. The 1-1. Breaking ball. Outside. Ball 2. Bender ahead 2-1. The right-handed bat against the left-handed pitcher. An all-star against an all-star when it matters the most. Eblin on first. He reached on an error. The 2-1. Another breaking ball, another miss outside. 3-1 to Bender. Gonzalez is a ball away from bringing the tying run to the plate. Gonzalez with 3-1. Popped up to right and foul. The count is full to Bender, who is 0 for 7 in this series so far. He has flown out 3 times tonight. 1 on, nobody out. Eblin on first, 4-1 Orleans. The payoff. Upstairs, ball 4. Derek Bender. He just waves his head up and down at his own dugout as the tying run comes to the plate for Bourne. And Kelly Nicholson comes out of his own dugout and calls to the bullpen for his closer, Sean Matson. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. And Garrett Michelle, who's got 3 home runs so far in the playoffs, to the plate. It does not get better than this. 4-1, Orleans in front. We'll be right back on the Birds Broadcast Network. Runners on first and second with nobody out for the Braves. The tying run at the plate for Bourne, down 4-1 in the bottom of the 9th of Game 2 in the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. And Dylan, there has been nobody better probably in the entirety of the Cape Cod Baseball League in situations like this at the end of a ball game than the man who comes out of a bullpen for Kelly Nicholson and Sean Matson.
Matson has been perfect the entire season and playoffs. 23-plus innings out of the bullpen this year for Sean Matson. Not one earned run given up. He's only walked 3. He's struck out a lot this year as well. 29 strikeouts in those 23-plus innings. He has to find a way. Get this first out. That would be big. Stop this momentum.
Garrett Michelle, 0 for his last 7 in these last 2 games. But a team-high 3 home runs in the playoffs. A home run with Ty, the lefty from Virginia Tech, against the right-handed pitcher from Harvard. Matson's first pitch, high in the air, popped up to right center field. Eddie King Jr., he's underneath it, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Sean Matson has the Orleans faithful on its feet as Garrett Michelle popped up on the first pitch. Bryce Evelyn still on second. He reached on an error from Jonathan Gonzalez, who was on the mound before Sean Matson came in. Derek Bender on first after he walked. The tying run still at the plate, but this time it's the left fielder from Iowa, Sam Peterson, in a righty and righty duel. Matson's pitch, fastball, crushed to right, backing up, Jay Casey, and it is down on the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. It's a ground rule double for Sam Peterson. It bounced in play, bounced over the right field wall. 2 run score. It's 4-3. Orleans still in front. Rather, it's 4-2 because it was a ground rule double. Everybody gets 2 bases. So moving over from second to home is Bryce Evelyn. He makes it 4-2. Bender is on third because he walked. He gets 2 bases. And now at second, after the ground rule double to right, is Sam Peterson. Second and third, 4-2 game. Hugh Pinckney at the plate. Sean Matson's pitch misses outside 1-0. Bourne scores for the first time since the first inning. It's an RBI double from Sam Peterson. Matson, his 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, and the bat flies out of the hands of Pinckney down the right field line. It's now 1-1 of a Rutgers catcher. Second and third, 1 out. The game-winning run at the plate. Bender on third. Peterson, who just drove in the RBI double with his second hit of the night. On second, Pinckney still near his own dugout, talking with manager Scott Landers, readjusting the batting gloves. A 4-2 game. Orleans took a 3-1 lead after 2 innings, added a home run from Joe Oyama in the 7th to make it 4-1, but Bourne put the first 2 base runners on against Jonathan Gonzalez in this inning. 1 gets on with an error, Bryce Evelyn, 1 on a walk for Derek Bender. Evelyn scored on an RBI double, a ground rule double to right field that got over the wall. Bender is now at third, and Sam Peterson, who hit the double, is on second. Hugh Pinckney back in the left-handed batter's box. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball. Outside. Ball 2. Pinckney ahead 2-1. 4-2 game. Orleans in front in the bottom of the 9th. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball. Smoked to center field. Eddie King Jr. makes the catch. Derek Bender tags up and scores. It's a 1-run game. A sac fly from Hugh Pinckney makes it 4-3, but Orleans is still in front. Sam Peterson on second. And a pinch runner in New Contrades, rather a pinch hitter, New Contrades, to bat in place of Gage Harrelson at the bottom of the order. A right-handed bat to face the right-handed pitcher, Harrelson, a lefty. Orleans an out away from advancing to Game 3 of the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. The first pitch. In for strike 1 looking. High in the zone. Contrades goes behind 0-1 as he looks at a strike. Peterson on second. The tying run in the bottom of the 9th. Matson, the 0-1. Curveball misses low. 1-1 the count to Contrades from Arizona State. Did have a hit in last night's game. A 6-4 win for Bourne. Matson the 1-1. Another curveball, another strike looking. 1-2, the runner on second, 2 away. Orleans a strike away from State in getting to Game 3. Matson the 1-2. Pop foul to right and out of play. Contrades still behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Sam Peterson, who got this rally kicked off with a ground rule double to right. He's on second. 4-3 Orleans. The 1-2 fouled right down the third base side. Stallman, his throw to first, high. It gets the out! Sean Matson does it again, and Orleans forces Game 3 with a 4-3 win of Bourne. Brandon Stallman, an unbelievable play, throwing it all the way across the diamond to Matt Hall back at first to get the out of New Contrades. We'll see you tomorrow.
That's the ball game, folks.
And I didn't take my heart pills this morning,
but
but I needed to, because what a ninth inning, and they pull it out by the skin of their teeth against a Bourne lineup that is as scary as can be. Sean Matson is reliable, and you can bring him in any situation. You wipe this one away. Tomorrow, 9 innings. Who comes out on top will be the champion.
For the first time in 6 years, the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship is going to a Game 3. Orleans downed in Game 1 at home, 6-4. The Firebirds with a 4-1 lead going into the ninth here tonight from Doran Park. 2 runs scored for the Braves. One off an RBI double from Sam Peterson, another off a sac fly, Pinckney. But what a play, Dylan, from Brandon Stallman, who has cemented himself at third base for the Firebirds, not only because of his bat, but because of his defense, and he makes the defensive play of the year with a sensational throw to get Contrades out.
Ian, the final score was 4-3 tonight, but I think the offense has to take a back seat because of how great the defense was by both sides tonight. Orleans' defense, like you said, Brandon Stallman all the way back, deep at third, has to make a good throw over to first to get the out, as Peterson was going to round third and come home. He does. He gets the out, but defensively all over the field. From back in the 5th inning where Jack Penny made a throw off the bag into his bare hand. Defense ruled tonight, and the pitching did as well, and Orleans pulls it out, and we're going back to Eldridge tomorrow.
It all started with Ivan Romero, 6 innings, 1-run ball for the University of San Diego pitcher, who put on an absolute clinic. And 2 innings for Jonathan Gonzalez. And lastly, Sean Matson, after Gonzalez made the error. But it was a really good 2 innings from Gonzalez, and that's why he joins us here on Cooling Down. Jonathan.
Oh, God, it's loud.
What a game, right? Just kind of take me through that finish and what you saw from Sean and Brandon Stallman and the entirety of the team to pull this one out.
Yeah, I was just got out there trying to get some outs for the team. Kind of hurt myself there at the end, but Sean's the man. He's been doing that all summer, so kudos to Sean there, and just happy we got the win.
And for you personally, those first 2 innings out of a bullpen, you were absolutely dealing 6 up, 6 down. You know, there were 2 weeks where you didn't pitch, but you've been on top of your game in your last 2 playoff appearances, and how do you think you did tonight overall?
Yeah, I started off hot in the first 2 innings. Happy to go 6 up, 6 down, throw some good changeups, and get the fastball going. Just happy to get some outs for the team.
How difficult was it for you in the deep playoff run that your team wanted to make not to be available, and how exciting is it to be available in these big moments now?
Yeah, I've been working hard to be available for the guys, and I'm just having a blast here, so I'm happy I stayed, and I'm happy to be able to help the team.
Jonathan Gonzalez here on Cooling Down. Whenever you're pitching and Sean Matson is available, what does he boost, knowing that you have him in any close game?
He's provided everything and more for the team. I mean, all the wins, all the saves, and he's just been dominant, and just happy to have him behind me.
Somebody else who's been dominant, Joe Oyama. Can you kind of just touch on what you think you saw from him tonight after a bit of a slow playoff start for him?
Same old Joe. I mean, Joe's back, so have a big Game 3, and we're going to get this one at home.
If I told you Game 3, Cape Cod Baseball League Championship, as one of the 10 original guys on this team at the start of the summer, what would you have told me?
It's a dream come true. I mean, this is crazy. Never would have imagined it, so
well,
happy to do it with the guys.
Now it's a reality. Jonathan Gonzalez, 2 strong innings out of a bullpen tonight, and Orleans is 4-3 Game 2 win against Bourne. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us on Cooling Down.
Go Birds. See you at Eldridge tomorrow, 6:30. Be there.
Hey, he knows how to promote. He knows how to get the people going, and he's exactly right. A 6:30 first pitch tomorrow. Game 3, New Orleans Firebirds going for their first Cape Cod Baseball League championship since 2005. And Dylan, now the dreams feeling more and more like reality, but you still have one more game to go.
You still got one game to go in, and I'll tell you this right now, it's all hands on deck. We just talked to Jonathan Gonzalez. He just gave 2 1/3 of really good baseball in this one. And then you talk about Sean Matson had to come in. It's a lot of arms in that bullpen for the Firebirds that are still ready to go. We don't even know who's starting the game as well. Evan Sherwood could start, Jaden Winter as well. A lot of arms ready to go. It's 9 innings. Who will be better in those 9 innings is going to hold the Arnold Mycock Trophy at the end of tomorrow night.
A trophy that Kelly Nicholson hoisted during his first year as manager in 2005. Also hoisted when he was the pitching coach of his Firebirds team all the way back in 2003. Both of those championship seasons ended in wins against the Bourne Braves. And the Birds now, nearly 2 decades later, a win away from bringing another championship home to Orleans. And Dylan, regardless of who's pitching tomorrow, how does Orleans find a way to get one more win?
Well, they've been clutch all season long, especially in this playoff season. And we talked about in the first 2 series against Harwich, coming up with big hits in the later innings. YD, the same thing, coming up with hits in the later innings. Well, game 3, it will be the later innings from inning 1 to 9. And who's going to come up big? I mean, Joe Oyama. We talked about it, Ian. He had to come up big for this team. He was straight up, and we're keeping it real, he was not very good in the first few games of the playoffs. But wash that all away, because in this game, he took over with 3 hits, all 3 for extra bases as well with 2 doubles and a home run. And now it's who's going to come up big tomorrow. I mean, you always talk about do-or-die games. The player you least expect to come up big does it. Who will that be? We'll have to see tomorrow night, 24 hours away.
You know, somebody who has been, as of late, Dylan Fenwick Trimble. I mean, who would have thought at the beginning of this playoff run that Trimble, who hit around 200 across the regular season, would be the most dynamic player consistently for the Firebirds when it mattered the most?
I'm mad because we haven't mentioned him on the broadcast. Scout liaison, Nick Bland, has told me the entire season that Fenwick Trimble comes up big in big games. And I believed him. I looked at the numbers. I mean, in the conference tournament, Fenwick Trimble was great. I just wanted to see it with my own eyes. And for this playoff run, we have seen it. Fenwick Trimble has been incredible for this team. He's going to stick in that 2 spot again tomorrow night if I were to have to place a bet on it. And he's been so big. I mean, you have him. You have such big bats. And I think tonight we've always had like one moment of the game that it kind of turned. I think tonight it wasn't one moment. It was a combination of at-bats that this team had. Upwards of 7 pitches, 8 pitches, 10 pitches. Fenwick Trimble with a single in the 9th inning on a 10-pitch at-bat. Tomorrow you got to do the same thing because Bourne's going to throw their best arms too.
This is why we play the game. The best summer ball league in the country. It's been an unbelievable series so far through 2 games. A 2-run win for Bourne in game 1. A 1-run win in game 2. The road team has won each of the first 2 games. Orleans trying to buck the trend tomorrow night. 6:30 first pitch between the Firebirds and the Braves. The winner is going to win the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship in the league's 100th season. And you know, one last note on Oyama and Trimble. 11 hits tonight for the Firebirds. 6 between the top 2 men in the order. We'll close up shop here on the Birds Broadcast Network by thanking our sponsors. Of course, our pregame sponsor, Siemens Bank, and our postgame sponsor, Mazzio Construction LLC, who worked hard to build a resume for itself. Let them put their knowledge, experience, and passion together to work for you. Their team is committed to exceed your expectations. New home, addition to existing home, renovation, they handle it all. They work close with their clients to make sure that all your needs are met. They're honest, on time with schedule, and passionate about what they do. Give them a call. Let them introduce you to their work, and let's see how they can help you. Mazzio Construction LLC, the official post-game sponsor of Cooling Down on the Birds Broadcast Network. Firebirds make it interesting. As always, Bourne scores 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th, 1 run shy of tying the game, and ultimately 1 run shy of the Cape Cod Baseball League Championship. Now it all comes down to tomorrow night. The series tied at 1. The winner goes home a champion. in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Please tune in. 6:15 we'll be live with the scorching start here on our YouTube. Drop a like and subscription and follow us along for what should be a great end to a great season of baseball. For Ian Nicholas, Dylan Pescatore, Sammy Miller, our producer Will Lundrigan, and the entirety of our crew, have a good night. We'll see you for Game 3 tomorrow night.